Hello, everyone. Welcome to Moriah Television, and this is your host, Juliet Hammond. I just want you to just get a chair, get a cup of tea, a glass of water, whatever that can help you to relax this evening, and let us talk about a very interesting topic that will or may affect you or someone you may know. And no knowledge is a waste, even if you haven't experienced it or know someone that experiences this disease. It might actually help you to kind of have a background, an overview of what it is all about. I have a special guest with me tonight. Before I introduce her, I'm going to just tell you a little bit about the topic we'll be discussing tonight. Sickle cell, living with sickle cell. Well, what is sickle cell? It is a disease that is in the same group of inherited health conditions, okay, that affect the red blood cells particularly. It is the most serious type of these diseases is called sickle cell anemia, okay. In the United Kingdom, we have about 1 in every 2,000 people with sickle cell, and it's caused by a gene that affects how the red blood cells develop, okay. I'm going to introduce this very lady. Her name is Tony Amaka. And this woman have got children with sickle cell. So she's actually living with it in her own home right now. So Tony Amaka, you're welcome to Juliet Hammond's show. God bless you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Julia. Thanks for having me. I'm really grateful.
I'm so pleased and honored to have you on my show, honestly, Tony Amaka. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Who are you? Who is Tony Amaka?
Okay. My name is Tony Amaka. Tony Amaka. I am the only Tony Amaka in the whole universe. I am homeschooled by God Himself. God changed my name to Tony Amaka 20 years ago. I am divorced with 4 children with genetic disorder. I had just changed my name, I no longer bear my ex's name and couldn't bear my father's name because of some wrong choices my father made, and that kind of, I just felt I won't finish suffering and go back there,
Mm,
because basically we inherited so many lies, and all of these lies were created by men, and it has suppressed women enough. And so I kind of am breaking a cycle and taking back my powers to build, to empower, to inspire people, especially women, to learn where not to leave their powers, because every power we think men have over us, we consciously and unconsciously gave it to them. It's okay if
okay.
where you are giving your powers is
Yes.
benefiting you, but if it is not benefiting you and your children, gracefully take it back, because
Take it back.
that's what I've done. Yeah.
Change the situation.
Yeah.
Yes, per se. Yeah, I mean, like I said to you, I'm so happy that you are with us, tonight,
Thank
and we'll
you.
be talking about this very disease that is affecting a lot of people, and it's mainly affects the Black African people
Yeah.
and the Caribbean people, just people of
Yeah.
color, you know.
Yeah.
So tell us. I know I have just kind of described what sickle cell is all about. Can you tell us in your own word what is sickle cell?
Yeah. Sickle cell is a genetic disorder whereby, because of the gene, we have AS, we have AA, and we have SS. So when someone who is AS marries an AS, they will produce sickle cell. When someone who is AS marries an SS, they will produce sickle cell. However, when someone who is AA marries an AA, they will not have sickle cell children. And when someone who is AA marries an AS, they will not have sickle cell children. And when someone who is AA marries an SS, they will not have sickle cell children. So you can see, being an AA, you are a medical practitioner. So
So basically, if you have an SS, a double
yes,
S,
yeah,
yes, in that blood cell, we call it hemoglobin S, isn't it?
yeah,
So if you
hemoglobin,
have
yeah,
it, if you carry it,
yeah.
you
So
yeah, you will have a sickle
exactly.
cell child. Okay, yeah, that's
I
fine.
didn't know I was AS. I was AA from the lab result I had in Nigeria. I only got to know that result that I'm AS here when I came to London for maternity leave. That was when I discovered that. I didn't even know. We didn't even know our daughter was SS because I had her in Nigeria. It was here we discovered that she is SS. So this was in 2004. And yeah, and it now became our reality. Someone will now say, so how did you go about having 4 children? Well, I already had one, and I was pregnant of one, and now discovered AS. I was AS, not AA. And my pregnancy was already full-blown pregnancy, about 8 months, 7 months. And yeah, it was around this period, Steph, because I had my son will be 18 years this October 24th. And that was when we now discovered. So, and when I now had him, they tested him, he was SS. My heart
Okay.
was broken. I
Mm,
was not happy about it. But I
mm,
got praying because the child is already here. You can't kill the children. I have never, all my life, I never knew anything about SS. The first SS children I ever know about are my own children.
mm.
So
Is
now
this
getting
is
to learn
yeah?
what
Is
it
the same
is.
as many parents? I think many parents from the African community, these
Yeah,
African had the children that they
yeah,
actually realize that this child is a sickle cell,
yeah,
child. So having 4 children with sickle cell
yeah.
disease, what are the challenges? I mean,
Yeah,
how
the
did you
challenges
cope?
are huge. The challenges are huge because this is a genetic disorder. This is more like something they will live with. And that's why I encourage my children. Sometimes when they are sick, you can't go to school. I say, well, this is what you live with. So I kind of became a doctor in the house. They have to live on penicillin, they have to live on folic acid, they are all on hydrocarbonate, which is hydroxyurea to shorten it. And all of this is just to mainly help them. So I encourage them to drink more. So there's going to be free flow of oxygen. So they are hydrated, and then eat healthy as well and stretch their joints, because with sickle cell, mainly when there is no enough circulation around the joint area, it eats up the bone. That's where they develop another sickness,
So it stiffens up.
osteoporosis. Yeah.
Mm.
So because
So what are the I know you're talking about the challenges right now, but what are the symptoms?
the symptom mainly is pain. When with sickle cell, no sickle cell patient is the same. Some will have swollen hands, swollen feet, somehow leg ulcer. Some will now develop joint pain that will require hip replacement. It just varies. It's mainly pain because the blood is sickle. There's no proper flow that causes pain in their vein. It causes pain because of lack of proper flow of blood. So that's why they have to drink to stay hydrated. So, and to kind of exercise to keep a flow of blood. So it's oxygen. So there's oxygen in their system to be able to help circulate oxygen. So when all this pain, it can start with sickle cell, you can't even predict. They can be playing 1 minute, the next minute I'm having headache. And with sickle cell, headache alone can cause stroke. It's that bad. So when they are complaining of headache, you don't joke with it. You can give head massage to relax the nerves there, give fluid, give painkiller, distract them to calm them down. So it could be pain on the leg, on the back, on the chest. Sometimes it's chest crisis. So
Right.
yeah.
How do the children themselves feel when all of these things are happening?
Now they
No.
are growing up as young adults. It's becoming tougher for them mentally because they are beginning to understand that, oh, they are not as active as their peers. So it's kind of, they run out of energy so fast. So that kind of frustrates them. They can't run as fast as others. They can't do so many things others can do. With sickle cell as well, it affects the kidney. It makes it because the kidney can be able to concentrate the urine. So bedwetting becomes a whole different challenge, you know. So which is beyond them, which
Mm.
is beyond them. Yeah.
But I know that these children are very intelligent. So how are
Yeah.
they managing in school
Yeah,
to
they
catch
are
up?
doing really well. All of them are doing really well. By His grace, my children are doing extremely well in school. They
Right.
are doing their best in school.
Mhm.
Yeah, they are free thinkers as well, which is good because I personally believe in giving people to develop a mind of their own, to think for themselves. They're all doing well in school.
I'm so sorry. I'm just coughing. I don't know
It's
where
all
this
right.
cough from.
It's all right.
Honestly, I
Sorry.
don't know. I wasn't coughing before we started.
It's
Um,
all right.
so I do apologize to our viewers. Um, you have gone through a lot with all these experiences, and I know that it's made you stronger, not just as a woman of God, but as a mother. What advice do you have to give to parents, single parents, even couples that are having that have sick children right now that they don't know, they're not even coping, or they don't even know how to cope? People that have just received bad news about their children. What information or what advice can you give them?
What I would tell them is we are creators, and as parents, we are our children's gods. We are
Hmm.
their God. We created them. So we owe
But
them
we are
everything.
their guide. We
Yeah.
look
So we
after
are
them.
their gods. We created them. We are gods. All of us are gods. And what we have produced are gods. They too are gods themselves. But we are their creator. If I don't use that word, it will not sink in properly. We are used to using parenting. A guide is like somebody who is your guardian. No, we
Mm.
are much more
It's
than
more than
guardians.
that. It's more than that.
You know,
That's right.
it's more than that. So I'm now learning. My eyes are popping open now. Wow, we are gods. We are creators. We created them. So anything you create, you are responsible for it. You created this show, didn't you? Is anybody hosting it? No. If anything goes wrong here, I'm a guest. You should have be held responsible because until we begin to understand that we are gods and we created these children, then it will help us start to face the responsibility
Yeah,
because we created them. Nobody forced us to have them.
yeah,
We chose to have them. Unless you were raped, that's a whole different thing. But
thing.
even if you are raped, the child grew inside of you.
Yeah.
You gave birth to this child, so which means you owe this child everything. So you give what you have. God taught me something. When it gets overwhelmed, God will say,
Mm.
remember you can only give what you have. I say yes. And God will say, okay, give everything you have and leave the rest for me.
Mm.
And giving
So
what I have,
it's about
yeah,
trust. God.
It's about trust. It's about unconditional love. It's about unconditional care. It's
Yeah.
about unconditional support. Everything is unconditional. So
Wow.
letting them know that you are here for them and you love them no matter what, that will eradicate any other thoughts of fear that may creep in. That will help calm them down to know, okay, you are here
Mm.
for them, with them. And God taught me something. As we provide for our children, taking full responsibility for their needs, especially basic. I'm not talking about wants now. I'm talking about needs.
Needs.
Food,
Yeah.
shelter,
Yeah.
clothing, education.
Yeah.
He said doors will open
Mm.
because we are meeting up. When you go to work and you deliver what's expected, that's how your confidence will grow for you to challenge when you're not paid the right payment, isn't it?
Yeah.
Good. So we are parents, but we are gods.
Mm.
And then God is the God of all gods. So God is the God of us who are gods. The Almighty is
Yeah.
the head.
Well, the Bible says that we're little gods. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. I see your point where you're coming from. It's it must be challenging to have them. What keeps you going? What is it that makes you strong? What is it that helps you to wake up in the morning and get downstairs or go into that child's room and pick them up and look after them? What is it that keeps you going?
What keeps me going is that God created this challenge to get my attention.
Mm.
And when God came clean with that, He gave me peace. So I have God to run to. So what keeps me going is that before I even knew who I would marry, I had a revelation of caring for children who were sick. I had this dream 4 times, 4 days. I had this dream. And that 4 days, that 4 times is the 4 children I have now with illness. This thing just flashed back 8 years ago when my youngest was sick and she couldn't walk upstairs and I was carrying her up the staircase. And
Mm.
I just
Mm.
suddenly remembered that dream. I was like, wow. I remembered I told my roommates. The first day I had this dream, I told them. The second day I had it, I told them. The third day I had it, I told them. The fourth day I had it, I told them. I was like, wow. And I now started seeing just the same way God shut Hannah's womb to
Mm.
produce Samuel to get her attention is the
I
same
see.
way God have used my children to get my attention because He needed me to do a work for Him and I've delivered. I'm one woman teaching there is no heaven anywhere. And what I teach is undocumented truth. So because we are all carrying untapped knowledge. We are like taps. And until you
Mm.
start to share this knowledge, until you open a tap, it won't run. So which means when we start to share this knowledge, the more you share, the more knowledge you generate. Because we are spirit, we are all redeemed, recycled, indestructible spirits, changing bodies through reincarnation. There is no heaven anywhere. There has never been heaven. So I'm schooled by God Himself. I never went to any Bible school. So when all these things started happening, I know I had prayed properly for the will of God for me. And God said, this is the man you will marry and live long. So I chose long life. But I
Mm.
didn't know it's going to be this tough. But I'm very grateful that every day I wake up, I'm seeing answers. So what motivates me is result.
Results.
Result
Seeing,
motivates me. Like
yeah,
one
seeing
time
them
like that,
grow.
3 of my children was sick. They just took ill, just like that, one at a time. The first person was admitted. Before school run was over, another was sick. Another was sick. I entered the ward. 3 of my children, two were on this side, one was on the other side. I was now wondering, what have I done wrong? Started
Mm,
searching myself to know what I did wrong. And I was very, very upset, especially as it's documented that the blessings of God makes rich and adds no sorrow. So why this sorrow? Why should I have 3 children in the hospital in the same day? Why? And so I was now going back home. I was not happy. I was now
mm,
going home to go and pack clothes to come and stay in the hospital to nurture them. God said, when I look back, I looked, he asked me, what building is that? I said, it's hospital. He said, so what happens in hospital? I said, that's where sick people are taken care of. He now told me, so you can see without the sick, there won't be jobs in the hospitals. I was like, wow.
yeah,
He
because
was
God
like,
have got a good sense of
yeah,
humor.
very, 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 very funny. He said, without the sick, there won't be jobs in the hospital. You can see. It is problem solving that keeps us humans busy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So,
And it's because of those challenges that makes us stronger. You know,
yeah, there is
you
no
might,
free life anywhere.
yeah,
Wisdom doesn't just come free. No. Challenges are part of what shapes us. That's how we learn. That's how we become wise. That's how we
mm,
become intelligent. That's even those challenges is like prove what you are made of. What are you carrying? Remember, I
yeah,
told you that we are
yeah,
all reincarnated spirit. So when there is now a challenge, the spirit man living in you will start to manifest what it is made of. You see, some are extremely intelligent. They are foresight. They are spontaneous. They can see ahead of time. They can project things, they speak life. And all of this, they were not taught. Like I said, I never went to Bible school, but what I teach is raw truth.
mhm,
Jesus is not coming back to rapture anyone. We are all redeemed. This is 2022. Anybody coming to tell you, give your life to Christ, especially the person lacks understanding of the full package of redemption. What I teach is the full package of redemption because there is only one God that created everyone and everything. And he loves diversity. He rules through race, culture, religion, misunderstanding to
mm,
divide and rule us to do what? To become productive because it is problem solving that keeps us humans busy. And
mm.
we are all relevant.
Tony Amaka, I want us to really concentrate on the sickle cell. Let's not just go
It's
into,
not
the
possible to
details
talk
of
about sickle
maternity, right?
cell without talking about Christianity because if we go to Christianity, we were taught that Jesus took away sickness. So why are there still sick people? You can see a whole lot documented are lies.
Mm,
Sickness is part of life, it's part of humanity. You are a medical practitioner. So it's just my message and my children's health is interwoven. You can't say one without the other because
I
that is
understand
what
that.
God used to get
To
my
give
attention.
attention. Absolutely. No one will take that away from you because you live the experience and you're still living in that experience as well. I do appreciate you for staying strong, for looking after those wonderful, wonderful children. So, what is the plan now? What do they want to be? I mean, they've are they still going into hospital or you
No, they're
know?
still going to hospital. They're all on daily medication. My daughter had bone marrow transplant, went through chemo, lost all the hair and everything. It was very, very tough. She has had hip replacement. If you check my Facebook wall, you will see loads and loads of medication she has taken. So to change the gene is not easy. It's tough.
Mm,
It's tough. However, research is still ongoing. So by the moment after the experience, my daughter went through chemotherapy and them shutting her body down with steroids so that so that her body accepts the transplant, so her body doesn't reject it. I practically my daughter died and came back to life. It's not an experience I would want any of my children to go through again.
and she's okay now.
Not really, because mentally it's draining
Mm,
because she still have hip replacement that to be ongoing every 15 years. So it's tough knowing that, oh, Every 15 years, they will cut you open to change your 2 hips, because when her hips started collapsing, it affected her spinal cord. So her spinal cord, the bones shifted. It shifted her shoulder. My daughter lived in pain, so much pain, excruciating pain every day. She's the worst affected. It's tough.
Mm,
Now going through that chemotherapy, it's been tough for her. So, and every day I was in Cambridge Hospital with her, driving to one hospital or the other. That has been my routine. But I'm
mm,
just grateful that, okay, yeah, God has made adequate provision that I'm in a developed land. But
mm,
we're not talking about this, just talking about me. Please, we are doing this show to raise awareness so
mm,
people know that living with this genetic disorder is not is not is not is not easy.
mm,
Don't marry somebody who is AS. If you are AS, go to different labs, check your genotype properly. Check, 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 check. Don't say look, and don't even, it's women that suffer most. They say, okay, well, you can get pregnant and they are going to check the baby. If the baby is not sickle cell, they'll flush it. How many flushes will you have?
mm,
How many
mhm.
miscarriages will you have? How many babies will you have?
I
Prevention is better than cure. So it's
mm,
better if you love one another indeed, part ways and marry unless you don't want to have children. But please
yeah.
don't have all this information and still bring in a sick child. To me personally, is evil. Yeah, somebody may be asking, oh, how did you have 4? Well, after I now had 2, I had to do family planning. My ex then was not interested in family planning, was not interested in even using condom. He just used it 1 or 2 times, and I became pregnant again. That was how I had the third one. And then after the third one, I had to go for proper family planning, the one they will put copper coil so that the sperm will not fertilize. So people know that I made effort. And that, if you can see, that was for 4 years. And he insisted, oh, he wants another child. I have to remove the family planning, put me under, because it's not just bearing children. I suffered abuse to get here, put me under so much humiliation. Or how he wants another baby, otherwise that's the end of the marriage. So me having the last baby was to save my marriage. And when I took in, he kidnapped the children, and that was how the marriage ended. It didn't even saved it. It didn't change anything. And that's how I ended up with 4 sickle cell children. I remember crying and praying when I took him for Amara. Muna wanted a baby sister. And I'm happy God answered my prayer. I was telling her when I now saw Amara, a baby, run and hug me. By the way, I saw my children before I had them. That's a mystery. Yeah. My life is strange,
The
and
mystery, the
I've
whole
embraced
entire
the mystery, my reality.
life.
And yeah, I
But
had the baby. I
you
was
managed
begging
to
God,
get them back.
praying.
Yeah, you
I
go.
prayed, I
Yeah.
prayed, if Father, let this not be sickle cell, because then in the church, people tell you, are you sure it's God that gave you sickle cell children? Are you really sure it's God? Are you sure it's God that gave you sickle cell children?
Oh
I
God.
started asking them, who else gives sick children? Who else gives children? You know?
Mm.
And maybe you
I
didn't
think
pray well. All
this is
those
the
words.
attitude. This is we have to be very careful as well. The
Yeah.
attitude of the church,
Oh,
towards people that have sick
people
children.
that have sick
We
children,
have
they
to be
suffer all
compassionate.
sorts of humiliation, insults, side talks. But what sustained me is that God created my problem to meet his need. And that
Mm,
is the message I teach, that there is no heaven anywhere. There has never been heaven. Christianity is not a superior form of worship. God has been before even redemption. God has been
there
before
is,
men learn to read and write.
there is,
We are all redeemed, and God loves all of us. There's
yeah,
none he loves
and
less.
there's heaven.
There is no heaven. There
There
has
is a
never been heaven. Okay, there's heaven. Where was God before he created heaven?
God was in heaven.
No,
He
there.
was
Okay, if God is in heaven, the
Mhm.
Bible said that God offered the everlasting sacrifice for him to come and dwell amongst us. So if he's now dwelling amongst us, who again is in heaven?
Well, his spirit is dwelling among
No,
us.
no. God is spirit. We will never see him because it is all this painting of heaven that is encouraging abuse. The concept of heaven was created to comfort the bereaved, to comfort the abuser. Oh, don't worry, God will judge them on judgment day. People will now keep hoping and then mellowing down and then healing. As time goes, they are hoping. All of those was created to calm people down. The reality, there has never been heaven. So that people know, let this abuse stop. Because it's all this, they are presenting God as one who rewards people who suffer. So which means be suffering. No, suffering is no good.
God has come to deliver us all.
He has delivered us already.
Delivered us.
Yeah,
And he's
we are
still
delivered. We are all redeemed.
and
We are
for
all
those
creators. And if we keep quiet, not much will change. As I said, we all carry untapped knowledge. So everybody should unlock and share. People should talk because talking therapy, nobody heals completely without talking. Let
Mm.
them laugh at you. Let them hate you. Let them misunderstand you. Just
So
know,
Tony and
choose
Mama,
on getting better.
one of the things that we should be doing as parents is talking to each other, is not keeping it bottled up, is to be able to talk, what we call talking therapy, and also to see counselors. If you have sick children that you're not coping with, talk to someone, seek counseling. What else should they be doing?
Um, It's mainly attending to the children's needs,
Yeah,
giving them a break, giving them space, encouraging them to make friends,
right.
encouraging their strength, knowing their area of strength, and empowering them to develop it. Because, as I said, we are all creators, and creativity engages the mind. So, keeping the mind engaged and letting them know there's nothing wrong with them because that is their reality. There are children, some children that are born blind, some are born crippled, some have no arm, some have no leg. So you can see their disability has different shades. Now I bring back the Bible. You are a Bible scholar. You will bear witness that in the Old Testament, disabled people didn't come near the temple.
That
They
was in the
didn't.
testament.
Yeah, but after redemption, God
Yeah.
dwells in all of us. God has
Yes.
embraced all of us. Every shade you are tall, you are black, you are sick, whichever, because it's problem solving that keeps us humans busy. And we are all relevant, created to serve different purposes. And
Yeah.
I'm very, very grateful that because we are creators, research is ongoing. Now
Yes.
we know, because remember in Africa then, because sickle cell is the sickness of black people. When people are that sick, always they call them obanje, they will even kill them. But you can see now there's medication to sustain them. They are now knowing science is helping. The way forward is science. Science and technology. Science is helping now to know, okay, you know your genotype, you know if you do this, you will produce this kind of children. Knowledge is power. So which
Yes.
means we are to speak out, we are to share our experiences, even if it's only ignorant people that laugh or look down on others. I'm just realizing that people who are teachable, people who are learned, they don't, because
Yeah,
they know that everyone faces different shades of challenges.
that's right.
So now
Mm.
with this knowledge, people know an AS should not marry an AS unless you want to have sick children.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
also evil to deliberately bring in sick children
Yeah.
because this sickle cell of a thing is a horrible disease. You can see it
Yeah.
has chopped off my daughter's hip bone. That's how horrible that thing is.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how
I
horrible
think
it is.
we have about 15,000 people with sickle cell.
Living with sickle cell, you see.
Yeah,
Some
yeah,
people live long, some people don't even feel anything. No, as
mm,
I said, no sickle cell is the same. Some
yeah.
people, all they have, some people have hardly even been to the hospital. No, no sickle cell is the same. None
Mm,
is the same.
mm, mm. Wow. That is wonderful. Thank you so much for enlightening us today. Thank you so much for coming to my show, Tony
Thank you
Yamaka.
for having me.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much
much for having me.
for giving us such knowledge and and letting us into your own living disease. So that we will kind of understand it if we can. And letting us know how the children are doing. I'm glad that they're doing well. Even though every now and then they are unwell, but God
Yeah,
has given you the strength, the grace to be able to look after them. And
yeah.
thank you so much for what you're doing for those children.
Thank you very
And
much.
I hope that they live, to the age that they have on this earth, and the
Amen.
Lord will continue to guide them,
Amen.
and to give you the strength to continue to look after them.
Amen. Thank
Amen.
you so much for having me. I'm
Oh,
really
I'm so
grateful.
pleased. I'm so pleased that you came to tell us your story. God
Thank you.
bless you and keep you. And thank
Thank
you,
you.
our viewers. Thank you, everyone that have joined us today. Next week or the week after, we have another program. We'll be advertising it on the social media as well. Please try and join us. Comment. Let us know what you are, if you're benefiting from all of this or not. Anyhow, we want to know. God bless you all. Take
Thank
care.
you so
This is
much.
Juliet.
Thank you.
God bless you. Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye.